Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Listen, the Detroit Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Hey, the Detroit Lions aren't messing around. We're drinking all of the Honolulu Blue Kool-Aid. Let's go. Let's go! Good night. I don't know what to say here for the night show, but welcome in, everybody. It is Woodward Nights. I look at my face still. We need to figure out how to fix that. My face still looks super, super pale.
You're not that white?
No. I mean, I look like a whiteboard right there.
Casper.
Someone could just draw on my face. But welcome in, everybody, to Woodward Nights. My name is Booner. Right next to me is our Detroit Lions beat reporter, Matthew Broder. He just told me his age before this show, and I won't give it away, but
You can guess. Put your guesses in the chat. How about that?
our age difference, and fun fact, tomorrow is my birthday. Our age difference is about 6 years, 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's.
I wonder if they're going to get it.
I don't. Oh wait, are our mics off?
I don't know. They can hardly
They said they
turn
can
it up a little
hardly
bit?
hear us. Do I need to talk louder?
Cut it up a little bit.
Do I need to talk louder for the people? Can you guys hear us now?
Can you hear me now? Good. You're good. They'll give us the okay.
All right,
We're
they
going to keep
said-
chopping it up. Let us know.
Yeah, we'll keep going. If it gets better, please let us know so we can. If not, we can fix it. Okay, Chris said he can hear us. So
Sweet.
the chat, welcome in. They're kind of putting us into that Woodward Sports thing. They're messing with us. I see what you guys did there. But we've got Jalen over there in the TD booth. Our own Jalen. Shout out. Andre Drummond. What did they call you?
Baby Drummond.
Baby-
I got called Grover off Sesame Street too.
Jeez, man.
That was crazy.
You're stacking up the nicknames. And we've got Nick over in the sound booth with the music and
Let's go, week 2, boys.
And people are saying levels up, Nick. They said you're muzzled.
I got you all the way up right now.
Oh
so
no, this is a disaster. Brother, how are we feeling from the weekend? How you feeling?
I feel great.
First Sunday of NFL football, full Saturday. It was the first weekend of football, all football together.
It was. It felt like, you know how the Lions, how NFL players describe the end of training camp, just wanting, they've been hitting the same team, the same person, the same players for all of training camp, all the offseason. They just want to get out there on the field and hit somebody else. I sort of felt the same way watching football. It's like I just wanted. I love the Lions. That's our team here, but it felt so good to see some other teams. Out there on Sunday.
Especially like Sunday for me, at least. It's just, I mean, I help run socials. Me and Lucas run the socials and have some people help us out. But on Sundays, for me, it's like I run it from 8 a.m. until like 5 or 6, and I can just sit there and just watch football like 1 o'clock. And just, I don't have to worry about anything. I can watch football and just no worries. I can gamble on the games. I can just eat food. Like, just a great time in general. I think the people can still hear us.
They still are. So
Can they?
I let's not get into like the what we have on the rundown. Let's shoot it a little bit till we get it figured out. We'll have some fun. We'll see how much they can hear you. Where's JB at to fix his Uncle Neil's soft feet? Maybe this is where we play around in the chat a little bit. I'm gonna write in here where we're working on it.
We are. We're currently working on it. If it sucks, can you guys at least hear us a little bit here? That's the biggest question. We don't want to keep going on with the show here.
It feels, and again, I don't know if they can hear us, but Dan Campbell talked about putting the players through the closest practice to what the Arrowhead, the environment's going to be like. They had the carts out with the speakers blasting music to give them that experience out there. I think we're just we're getting put through it too. We gotta let our voices be heard through the energy of the fans.
All right, I think we're good, boys.
It's very, very low. Yep, all good, all good. We're just talking. I know you're figuring it out in there. Anything just out of the ordinary from the NFL? Just in conversation. Nothing we got planned.
I know. Here we have planned kind of around the NFL. This might be a good time to kind of just go
Go around.
over. Can we go over that Shams tweet that you had?
Yeah. Yeah. Unless they're trying to figure things out in the booth. Let's talk.
Shams tweet.
Let's talk and make smiley faces on until we get it figured out. But we could just talk. We could go around the NFL. We can. Where else were we in that?
Let's talk about you at Allen Park today, real quick.
Okay.
Because I know you heard Brian Branch
I think we got it back, guys.
Are we back? Chat, are we back?
Can you hear me now? Oh, let's
Nick
go. Much
said
better.
I think we're back. I have a little echo in my ear, but that is okay. Don't care. We are finally back. Welcome in, everybody, to Woodward Nights. If you're finally hearing this, Booner here. We've got some Kool-Aid ready to go, just like you guys saw in the video to start. We've got Broder here, Lions beat reporter. We've got Jalen in the booth. We've got Nick. Shout out to Nick for helping getting that fixed. He made a few phone calls in the booth there, and he got it fixed for us. I appreciate whoever stuck with us to keep this thing rolling. Let's just get right into it, because we're a little behind already.
All good. All good. We've got 6 minutes.
So let's start off here real quick. We kind of want to remember, I know it is a big day, 9/11. Very kind of emotional day for a lot of people. I think we did want to touch on that just to kind of, at least for me, and there's the graphic from Woodward, is just at least for me, my father, my dad is a firefighter, so a day like this, you obviously had all the first responders. A lot of people passed away then, so just kind of want to give our thanks to everyone, first responders, and thoughts to all the people who've lost people for 9/11, Broder. But it is a day, to me at least, I like to touch on whatever I'm doing, because my dad's is a firefighter. And any day he goes out, it could be, you don't know what's going to happen. So
I can imagine what that must feel like. I just found out before the show that your dad is a firefighter. So I don't know if thank you for your service is the right terminology, but got to appreciate everything about all first responders, especially on this day 22 years ago. I know just in sports over the last year, we've seen how important medical staffs, first responders, EMS, different support units that come along with the sports team, how valuable they are. I'm thinking of the DeMar Hamlin situation, and that Bills and Bengals medical staff was just ready to go to deal with the horrible situation at hand. This was 22 years ago, one of the worst days in American history, in the world history. We had
to touch on that. Kind of to start the show, we're going to go through some trending topics here. Obviously, the very first trending topic to get into, I think we're not going to talk about it a ton, because I'm sure in the chat you guys heard about it all day long. Multiple segments on each show about the Michigan State news. I know the heavyweights kind of covered it pretty in depth with different people coming on that show, but Broder, kind of want to hear your thoughts on this. I'll give my thoughts as well, but what are your thoughts initially with this Michigan State situation?
Yes, so Mel Tucker, head coach of the Michigan State Spartans football team, has been suspended without pay. All this news sort of broke in the last 24 hours, 36 hours, where there have been reports, and an investigation is still ongoing about a relationship that he had with Brenda Tracy, a survivor and an activist who has now made it her life work to go around educating college athletes on sexual violence and sexual harassment and what not to do. And the reports are that Mel Tucker and Brenda Tracy, Mel engaged in inappropriate actions through their relationship that they had built over the previous year. He claims they were having phone sex. She alleges that he was making sexual comments on the phone without her consent and admitted to masturbating while on the phone. All the details aren't out yet, but there is a Title IX hearing coming for Mel Tucker on October 5th and October 6th, and that's really where all the investigation, all the details that we don't know for sure yet are going to come out in front of this hearing, so then they can make the final decision. But it's clear Michigan State, instead of just firing Mel Tucker, they're making sure to go through the proper protocols through Title IX, so that they can hopefully, in their standpoint, get out of this without having to pay Mel Tucker the rest of his $80 million. But it just seems like a mess, man.
It does. And to me, too, it's easy for people, especially on the Michigan side or all of that, to kind of pile on and kind of, I've seen tweets and different things like that. And for me, I kind of take it away from just, even no matter what the university is, no matter where it's at, and no matter what, a guy like Mel Tucker in a leadership position where you're in charge of hundreds of kids to help build them into their lives. I was in college athletics coaching, and you're trying to be a role model, and especially if you're the head of that program, having this situation come up, whether it was both sides were in agreement of what was happening, or whether he was having issues with his wife, and they both admitted, hey, there was a relationship from both ways, whatever it was. I no matter what, you're bringing someone in to speak to your team in regards to that situation, and to have a relationship like that, and just have this situation come up as the leader of a program of kids and role models. And Easy said it best last show, is that when you're recruiting, things like that will come up now. The kids on the team, their families are now involved in it because of that. So at that point, it's like, all right, you have to move on. Whether it was Michigan State, whether it was any school, Michigan, Oregon State, Arizona, any school, this happens, you have to move on from that coach instantly, just by it coming out the way it is. Like Easy says, it was on CNN. Like, this is national news. This is broad, like, the name. And Michigan State's gone through so much already, to where I just can't.
Yeah, and the fact that 2 years ago, these two, Mel Tucker and Brendan Tracy, were teaming up as an alliance against sexual harassment, sexual assault, just to educate the teammates and stand against sexual violence. And just for it to transpire like this, whether it was consensual or not, just seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
It seems stupid. I mean, I hate to just jump right to a judgment, but guilty or not guilty, it just seems freaking
just
stupid.
Put yourself in those situations as a coach and leader. You kind of you try and teach your kids not to put yourselves in those positions and things like that. And he put himself in that position. He did what you try and teach not to do. So move on from that real quick. I want to tell you guys about the Woodward Sports Lions pregame show. It has returned, another season of Lions football. If you guys tuned in Thursday, it was Jeff Iafrate and myself last Thursday. Whether you're sipping Kool-Aid like the video of me or kicking and screaming the same old Lions, you will not want to miss this show live every Thursday at 6 p.m. Join us all season long for action-packed Lions pregame experience with, look at that, Hollywood. Jeff Iafrate, Hollywood.
Host of the Morning Woodward Show. Dude, we're going to move on from Michigan State, but I have a bone to pick. Coming back to my old baseball days as a pitcher, Jalen, could you play that George Kirby video? And to give you guys a little background, this is a pitcher, starting pitcher for the Mariners, the Seattle Mariners, who was interviewed after a game where he was not taken out. He had a mound visit, I believe it was in the 7th inning, and his coach decided to leave him in the game. And this was his interview on.
I didn't execute. He had a good pitch. I wish I wasn't out there for the 7th, to be honest. So I was at 90 pitches, and I didn't think I needed to go anymore, but it is what it is. So.
Is that a conversation in the dugout, or is it?
It'll be a conversation soon. Yeah.
So, Broder, you have to explain to me there kind of this situation, because I didn't see anything about this. Is he kind of complaining that he pitched too much?
Yeah, could you throw the graph up? Actually,
is that what happened here?
Yeah, so I believe he was at 90 pitches in the 7th inning, and he was pissed that his coach left him in the game. Like, he thought maybe his stuff had gotten worse, he was getting tired, and this was the moment for a coach to be taken out of the game. But this went kind of viral because so many other players, both around the major leagues and in college, amateur, nobody wants to come out of a game. Anytime I was pitching, and I know you're up on the screen here. Anytime I was pitching, you want the ball from the start of the game to the end of the game. And I know baseball has shifted a lot over the last. But to hear a major league pitcher want to come out of the game when it's not like he threw 120, 130 pitches. He was just he was pissed about something, but it was just like a weird mentality. It was odd.
This is, to me, one thing that I've had a bone to pick with baseball, and I'm not like a huge baseball, which I'll learn a lot the next couple months.
Oh, yeah.
With you, especially with October coming up, and you a baseball guy. But a bone thing that I hate about baseball is that pitchers don't go the distance. Like, they don't want to do that anymore. And obviously it's with injuries and things like that. But it's like, you got to have that
Yes,
people don't have that
yes.
dog in them anymore.
Yes.
And then that's what I want to see. It's the same thing. And like Ryan Ermanni talked about it today with the NFL. It's like, oh, the players just don't want to hit and play in the preseason anymore because they don't want to get injured. They're scared of getting injured. But guess what? That ruins your career down the line. You're going to get injured at week 2 because of it. Like,
You can't play scared.
No.
Any sport.
You can't, whether it's a preseason game or, in this case, baseball, it's a regular season game. You should want to pitch you should want to pitch the whole game and win the game.
Yeah. Anytime you're taught or you learn over time, anytime you're given the ball, you don't want to ever give that thing up.
No.
If you're in a 9-inning game, you get in the first, you go in with the mentality you're pitching 1 through 9, and obviously George Kirby does not sound like that.
Soft. That's what it is. And real quick, before we do go to break here, this game's about to start, this Bills-Jets. I know everyone in the chat here probably are going to be watching it. We do have a TV up here. I know it's going to be weird. Woodward nights, kind of the 8 to 10 slot, that we're going to have Monday night games, Thursday night games going on. We're going to try and not commentate, but if something happens, we'll talk about it a little bit and kind of go through it.
It's our live stream. It's our Woodward Night live stream.
Yeah, yes, it is. So everyone in the chat, 2 things. 1, hit the like button if you guys are still here. We'll love that. But 2, throw in your prediction for this game. I would love to see everyone's prediction. We're going to go around the room before we go to commercial here and give our predictions on who we think will win this game. And if anyone has any bets, we can do that. So, Broder, I'll start with you.
I'm going to start with...
The spread, I believe, too, is like 3 now. We could just go kind of straight up money line.
Also, Coach Walk, Nolan Ryan pitched in 222 complete games. That's how it used to be. I'm picking the Jets over the Bills. We're going to go 28 to 17. Jets 28, Bills 17.
Wow. It's the under.
Nick?
Yeah, I actually really like the Bills in this one. I think they have a huge comeback season, especially for Josh Allen now that he's healthy. I think they're going to have a big year. I got 24-14 Bills.
Ooh.
I got 28-21 Bills.
I love it. I'm gonna go Bills as well. Like, I'm gonna go like 24-17 ish. I'm taking the under in this game.
You guys are all taking the Bills.
Yeah, I've got a James Cook touchdown.
I could use some points out of James Cook.
I've got Garrett Wilson receptions over 5.5. If you guys want to play that real quick before this game starts, but I'm gonna go Bills. Steve Wild's Bills are past their time. I don't
Thank you,
think so.
Steve.
They were 13-3 last year, and they got the most hate out of any 13-3 team in NFL history.
The Nets, Rich Diana.
And they have everyone.
Bills 31, Nets 20.
Nets 20. That's great.
I remember we got the not Morning Woodward show. Woodward and Main Street tomorrow morning.
You're gonna have an early morning.
Terry and Gabby, they picked the Chiefs to win. I was the only one who picked the Lions.
Wow.
Now I'm the only one here picking the Jets. I think that bodes well for Aaron Rodgers. But Booner,
I hate you for that. Aaron Rodgers can,
Bucket.
you know what? All right, real quick, let me tell you guys a little bit about Lady Jane's Haircuts. Come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like a landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Wondering where the best Lions tailgate is? That's easy. It's at Eastern Market, the official Detroit Lions tailgate party at Shed Number 5 in Eastern Market. Woodward Sports will be broadcasting live for every home game. We'll have a 3-star Michelin buffet chef featuring Chef Ermanni, VIP parking, and even tickets if you need them. How do you sign up? You go to bullseyeeventgroup.com and tailgate like a VIP. That's bullseyeeventgroup.com.
Let's go. Welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. We're going to kind of get into some things here with the Detroit Lions. Kind of a lot of the show is going to be NFL Detroit Lions based. But today in Allen Park, Dan Campbell was there to speak, and we have our own here, beat reporter Broder.
That's me.
To be able to kind of, he was at Allen Park today. He was there. He would listen to who all spoke? Brian Branch, Dan Campbell,
and Frank Ragnow.
So he was there to kind of talk about that. So we're going to kind of get into some things with that's the one advantage I think we have here is you're in Allen Park during the days and we get to do the show at night. So we're able to kind of talk about it. You guys can listen. And again, welcome in. And if you guys can real quick, smash that like button before we get into here about Dan Campbell. But Broder.
Yes.
One thing that stood out to me in this press conference is Dan Campbell talking about the Seattle game. The energy in the building that's going to be at Ford Field.
Yes.
And Jalen, I don't know if we have that clip. We'll see if this clip plays. But here's Dan Campbell talking about how he feels like. Yes, the first clip, the shorter one here, but about what he feels like Ford Field will be like versus the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday.
I'm expecting it to be loud. I'm expecting, I know what Arrowhead is, and it was loud. I expect it to be louder than that. I really do. I just know our fans. I mean, and it's going to be. It'll be to the point where you can't hear yourself think. So, for them anyway.
Yeah, and Dan Campbell continued on with that, and he talked about his first time playing at Ford Field in 2006. I believe he was he a member of the Seattle Seahawks, or they were playing the Seattle Seahawks? I think he was playing, and he just talked about how loud it can get and how it surprised him the first time he went in there, and that each time he's in there again, the crowd just continues to impress him. And, with all the hype going into the Chiefs game, going into the Chiefs environment, and then coming out victorious, he knows that Ford Field is going to absolutely explode.
And I would have to think, too, that this might be one of the most, especially for, like, the One Pride Nation, the fans, it has to be, like, the most anticipated Detroit Lions home game, at least that I can remember going into it. You're 1-0, you just beat the defending champs, the Chiefs. You're a top 3 team in the NFC, which we'll get into later today, and you're about to play the Seattle Seahawks, who last year took your last playoff spot. I can't imagine. I feel like this is the most anticipated Lions home game that we've had in who knows when. I can't tell you.
Probably 30 years.
I don't even think I'm old enough to know that. So I do think what Dan Campbell said, the sound, like how loud it's going to be in there, that's a legit competitive advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is legit. It's like the 12th man years ago with the Seattle Seahawks, where it's going to be like that at Ford Field all year this year. And I know there's people in the chat right now that probably will be at the game, and it is going to be like, I'm pumped. We're going to be doing the stream here. I wish I could be at Ford Field. It's going to be insane. Downtown Detroit, the chance for the Detroit Lions to go 2-0 versus a team that knocked them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, dude. And they came in, and that was a game where we weren't able to force one punt out of Seattle.
Yes, it was just an offensive game.
Geno Smith played well. And Seattle's continued to reload. I know Jackson Smith and Jigba and Devon Witherspoon, their first-round picks, they've been a little hampered, but it seems like they're going to play. They got the type of team, the roster construction that I thought could compete, could take it deep into the playoffs, maybe even be one of those dark horses to make a Super Bowl run. Yep. But they didn't look like that this past weekend. So hopefully, I mean, that doesn't affect the crowd. The crowd's going to be absolutely insane regardless. But the storylines surrounding this game just continue to grow.
Yeah, I kind of expect the fans to hopefully come there and make some noise. But I do expect the Detroit Lions to come in and win this game now.
I think so, too.
Especially after seeing the Seahawks. And I know you could say, they're going to have a bounce-back game. I don't care, to be honest. I don't care about these bounce-back games. But one thing, too, this last week that I think has turned into an advantage with the Detroit Lions, and this is kind of the next video here, Broder, of the conference, that press conference you were at. is Dan Campbell's play calling, and kind of in these big situations, those fourth downs, those big, massive situations. I know last week before the game, I brought up the point of Dan Campbell versus Andy Reid, and Dan Campbell just can't mess the game up. And he went through it. They went for it on a couple fourth downs. And Jalen, if you want to play that second video of Dan Campbell talking about what it means to him, or kind of,
he was asked, like, you know, the plays worked out well, but if they didn't go in his favor, he was probably going to get some serious criticism.
It's that Dan Campbell, that heart.
Yeah, and this is how he answered it.
I guess making the right call ultimately. I mean, nobody's really talked that much about how decisive that was, but how you were right.
No, I don't. No, believe me, I don't. I don't need anything. We got a W, and look, I can make all the wrong decisions, and we win. I'm all good. I'll take it. So, you know, we did a lot of things right. Our players, look, we say it all the time. No matter what call comes out of it, you're making that call because you're leaning on a certain group. You know, offense, defense, special teams, and you're trusting those guys in the moment. And if something doesn't work out, then those guys will bail you out. And we got to do our job for them too, and give them the best game plan we can. But no, listen, you call the game as you see it, and what you feel like is the right thing in the moment, and you go with it.
Nick, do you have a siren noise on that board?
Like a breaking news?
Because I'm gonna have to look for that one.
All right, look for it real quick.
Breaking news.
We have some breaking news. Zach Wilson has entered the game with 10 minutes and 34 seconds left.
Have we ever seen, outside of last year when that Jordan Love came, like, I've never seen Aaron Rodgers get hurt. Like, actually,
not that I can. He's had some nagging. It was a toe, a thumb, but Aaron Rodgers just was helped off the field by trainers and
wow.
With an apparent lower leg injury. Now we got Zach Wilson.
Imagine this. Zach Wilson goes in, Aaron Rodgers down, and Zach Wilson just ends up being their starter. Like, just an insane, like, storyline.
And then kills it.
And just
then
goes off.
Absolutely just takes over the league, comeback player of the year.
Jets fans would be, they would be pissed.
That would be
I feel
nuts.
like they would be.
That would be nuts. But Dan Campbell.
Yeah, let's get back into this.
We just saw that press conference. He was talking about his decisions on fourth down with special teams. And one of the things I took from that, the full conversation that he had, he was talking about when he had his opportunity to be the head coach in Miami. He remembers leaving and thinking that he didn't utilize his special teams enough.
Yeah.
Like, he wants special teams to be a weapon, and sometimes that can come back to haunt you, but he's aggressive and he wants to take those chances. There's great players that he has on his special teams unit, and even if we're talking fourth downs and making some aggressive play calls, these are all things they plan for. They talk about situations in advance, and they had talked about that the fourth down call early. He and Dave Phipp, not the fourth down call, the fake punt where Jalen Reeves-Maybin caught the direct snap and took it, I think, 2 yards for the first down. They prepared for that. They talked about what if they got in a scenario, and he and Dave Phipp, the special teams coach, they were all prepared and ready to go. And you can tell from that clip, he could care less what criticism he gets from different calls as long as they win a game.
Which I love that. And
me too.
There's a few things too with that. The number one thing that tells me though is that he trusts the team.
Yes.
And as you're trying to build something, you're trying to build a franchise, a winning franchise. Andy Reid trusts his players. Sean McDermott trusts his players. Like these guys that have, these franchises that build something, they trust their players. And like that fourth down at the end of the game in the fourth quarter, when it was a make or break, like you have to get that fourth down, or you give Patrick Mahomes the ball back with 40 or 55 yards to go or 30 yards to get a field goal. He trusts his defense and offense in that.
Yes.
One, he goes for it in 4th and 2 to put the game out of hand, and he trusts his offense to go get that. And two, he knows if he doesn't get this, he can trust his defense to get the stop. I love it.
That's where things are different.
Yes. And a lot of people, the criticizing thing, the criticism. A lot of people will try and go at Dan Campbell for that if you don't get it, or it's so easy to criticize. But when things work out the way that they did last week, and they did when we went 8-2, or the Detroit Lions went 8-2 to end the season last year, and he was going for those fourth downs, he knows what he's doing. And as much as some of us might hate it, and some of us are like, dude, stop doing that. Eventually it's going to bite us in the ass. Who cares, dude? Let him coach his game.
Exactly.
And he trusts it. Like he said, in Miami, he wanted to do that, and he regretted not doing it. Now he's doing it, and now he's winning.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Let the man cook.
Do you ever watch the quarterback show on Netflix?
I saw some of it. I saw a couple episodes.
There was one, just the one thing I remember from it. They're showing Kansas City Chiefs and how Andy Reid trusts. You were talking about him trusting his team. He lets Patrick Mahomes and the offense come up with plays in the offseason.
Yes.
Lets them get creative and excited. And that's part of how he connects with his teams. That's part of why they like playing for him and why they work hard for him.
He's a football guy. I don't know if you heard the story of Andy Reid, that Andy Reid got a play in Green Bay from one of the janitors in Green Bay.
No way.
A janitor came up to him. He just told the story a couple weeks ago, actually. A janitor in Green Bay came up to him and said, "Hey, I've got this play. This will work." And he looked at it and he was like, that's pretty good.
Did he ever
and then
run
they
it?
used it and they scored a touchdown on it. And he was like, so Andy Reid, it's the same thing with Dan Campbell. It's like, hey, it's football. Like, one, we're going to trust you guys, but two, it's like these fourth downs, like the punt, the fake punt. Like, hey, if we find a play here, well, we're going to take any play. And that's kind of what great coaches do. They've always done that. And Dan Campbell seems to have like adapted that. I don't know. It's like, I call it the affinity rings. You know?
The affinity rings, all right.
Yeah, I call it for everything though. I'm missing an infinity ring here at Woodward. That's the technology side of things.
It happens. But Ben Johnson also talked recently about getting a play from one of the referees in their joint scrimmage against the Giants and Jaguars, and I can't remember if he said he used it or not, but he was like, "Hey, this is pretty good." Someone had asked him the craziest way he had received a play or stolen a play from someone else, so that's pretty interesting. But Booner, could you please tell the chat about Big Boy?
Yes, because Big Boy, it is the night time
good.
right now. It is dinner time. Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taken over at Big Boy. Look how good those look. Oh my gosh, that burger looks so good. It is burger time though. Try the best cheeseburger or our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Are you craving chicken like me? Try the Dolly chicken sandwich to turn up the heat with Bob's hot chicken sandwich. Or you can upgrade your regular fries with our chili cheese or loaded baked potato fries. And save some room for dessert because we have a new treat for you. Indulge in our Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake or satisfy your sweet tooth with our funnel cake fries. That sounds all amazing. That's all that Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel. Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Downtown's newest sports bar has 13 TrackMan simulators, certified instructors, and most importantly, a full bar and restaurant. 5 Iron Leagues are back, debuting on September 11th. That's today. Compete nationwide for a chance to win a trip to the Dominican Republic. So why don't you bring a foursome or sign up as an individual to be placed on a team at 5irongolf.com. Use code Woodward10 for 30% off the league. That is 5irongolf.com to sign up. Use code Woodward10 for 30% off. And we are back. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. That's Booner. I'm Broder. That's Nick. That's Jalen. We even got Adam Morency sitting in the Maz chair. Adam Morency, a friend of the show. Awesome guy. We love you, Adam.
Appreciate you coming.
Dude, I gotta ask for a favor, chat. Could you please hit those likes
Yeah, let's get to
where
75.
are we at now? You want to get to 75 before the end of this segment? How about by 9 o'clock? I definitely want to see 75.
End of the segment, let's hit 75.
And you know what? You could tell a friend. Why don't you just, text a friend, send in the link, share. You get the little share button right there next to the like or dislike. Share that. Send it to a friend, family member. Get them to come watch us. Yeah. Tell a friend.
Let's get the show popping.
Because
appreciate you guys tuning in.
And what you can tell them we're about to talk about. We're about to talk about how goated Jared Goff is. We're going to talk about his interception streak. We're going to talk about if Jared Goff, is he the one that can lead the Lions to the promised land? Is an extension in the future if he keeps up this torrid pace he's on. Jared Goff. So after the game against the Chiefs, Jared Goff now sits in third place for the all-time NFL record for most consecutive most pass attempts without an interception. He's at 359 right now. I believe Aaron Rodgers is at number 1 at 402. Oh, here we go. We got that graphic up. Aaron Rodgers, 402 pass attempts, is in first place. He did that with the Packers in 2018. And Tom Brady, when he was with the Buccaneers last year, had 399 pass attempts. So what I'm going to ask you, is Jared Goff actually the guy of the future for this new look Detroit Lions franchise? Last season, Goff committed 9 turnovers in the first 6 games of 2022. The Lions were 1-5, and that was sort of a little bit of the reputation he had coming over from the Los Angeles Rams. Was he a quarterback that could hang on to the ball? Was he going to throw interceptions? Even fumbling was a little bit of a problem.
Those small hands.
Yeah, exactly. But his last interception before the streak started came in Week 9 against the Packers. It was against Jair Alexander. From that point on, he ended the season by throwing 324 straight passes without an interception. At the time, it was 5th longest in the NFL. And now, after that Chiefs game, he had 35 more attempts, moves into 3rd place. So, Booner, where do you stand on Jared Goff? What are your thoughts right now, my man?
It's an interesting topic to me, because this was a topic I think I personally and everyone's talked about in the offseason is Jared Goff the future, because the contract situation kind of came about over the offseason, and they're kind of having conversations with his agent. I'm starting to fall for Jared Goff a little bit. Ooh. And I know it's only been 1 game, and I've been someone who's been very vocal about not paying him that $50 million, not paying him that $55 million. But if that man, we don't have a Patrick Mahomes, we don't have a Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence. We don't have that level of a guy right now. Maybe Hendon Hooker is that. We don't know yet, right? But right now we're sitting there with Jared Goff. And with the team that we saw Thursday, and we have in front of us in the NFC North and the NFC, and the opportunities that this Detroit Lions franchise has to be able to take that next step, I'm really, Broder, I hate to say it, I'm really starting to think that this extension is a smart idea.
$50 million.
$50 million.
I'm still, and I'm going to make it very clear too, I'm still on the boat to where I'm not paying him $50 million. I will refuse to pay him $50 million.
Are you trying to get 45?
45. But just look, like if you look around the league, like look at the 49ers right now. This is an example that I kind of put down. The 49ers right now, they have the most cap space I saw yesterday in the NFL after signing Nick Bosa. And maybe I'm wrong with that, but I just saw a tweet. I might have got butt crack sports. But I'm pretty sure they have the most cap space. And that's because they have Brock Purdy. They have that rookie quarterback, or the quarterback on a rookie deal.
Yeah. And they just let Jerry Jones take the whole Trey Lance bill.
So when you're sitting there and you're building a franchise, like I can't. I've said it on every show I've been on. Is you're going to have to pick, if you're going to pay him $50 million, who are you willing to give up at that point? Are you willing to give up a Panay, Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Kirby Joseph, Tracy Walker? I
don't want to give up any of them.
I could just keep going. I could keep going. Like
keep going.
Aiden Hutchinson, James Houston. Like there's just so many. They've done such a good job in bringing players in. And the next 2 or 3 years, you're gonna have to pay them. And when you pay a quarterback $50 million, unless maybe you front end the deal before you have to pay all these deals, I'm starting to get convinced that Jared Goff might be the answer of kind of building the franchise, because you just have a reliable quarterback, and you can win a Super Bowl with a reliable quarterback.
Yeah. To me, it's about the timing. Like, I've always been a believer in Jared Goff. A lot of people at the network know that. But I sort of am in the corner that if you're gonna extend him, now's the time. Like, get him into maybe it is $50 million, maybe you can convince him 45, but you want him to get signed to hopefully a team-friendly deal before these quarterbacks keep coming off the keep signing these massive deals. Joe Burrow
maybe you get it,
is now the highest paid. Soon it's going to be. Did Justin Herbert already get? Herbert got paid. There'll be this next wave. It's just going to keep going up. And if Goff takes this team deep into the playoffs, does he win a playoff game or two? Do we get to the Super Bowl? If that happens, the Detroit Lions' leverage at the negotiating table goes away so fast, and they've done such a good job of building that leverage. Even when you think just drafting Hendon Hooker,
as much as we all hate it too, is he's a huge part of this rebuild. And he's
huge.
been a heart or a big leadership role, and he's been a huge reason on why this Lions has turned. And as much as like some of us don't want to admit it, funny comment here though. Uncle Neil's soft feet. Let me find it. Oh, he said Penei Sewell's off limits. I agree.
Yeah,
you can't. There's some guys that are off limits, but to that point though, is if you pay a quarterback, you're gonna have some guys that sit out that want money because they see someone else got paid, and that's gonna be the biggest part of it. I'm starting to get to that 45, the Goff.
Mm-hmm. Here, the kicker to all this is we got Brad Holmes. The Lions got Brad Holmes, and if he can continue to build teams through the draft, again, this doesn't negate the need to pay Penei and Aiden and a lot of these young guys. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Currently, we're having this current discussion about Jared Goff's contract and them. But if you do make that commitment, Brad Holmes has got to keep hitting on these draft picks so that they're the ones playing. I have faith in that.
The thing is with that, he hasn't showed us that he can't do it.
No, right.
He's showed us every year going into this year. Like we all were like, oh, can he do it? And then he drafted who he did, and we all questioned it. And then now we're all, yep, he did it.
Yeah.
So he's showed us year after year that he can hit on draft picks. So maybe if you do pay a quarterback, it gives you that luxury because you have a guy like Brad Holmes in the front office, one of the best in the league.
Yeah, if you can get a team-friendly contract. I don't know. I'm not an expert at how the NFL trade market and how it all works, or it's even possible in this scenario. But if there was a way, and again, I would love to see Jared Goff stay with the Detroit Lions, but if there's a way that Jared Goff and Ben Johnson could go to the same team together next season, wherever Ben Johnson lands, you got to think as Ben Johnson becoming a head coach, if he can start, it'll likely be a team near the bottom of the NFL. If he can start his regime in that new team with a quarterback he trusts, they understand how to communicate. We all know where he's
going next year. He's going to be in LA, and he's going to have a young quarterback like Justin Herbert. That's Jeff said that all along, and I think Jeff's dead on with that.
He's got to go to a team like that. We got a young quarterback, a star quarterback, and an offense.
Would not be surprised if that's where he ends up.
Yeah,
especially after the game the other day.
How about the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, I don't know.
Boy,
if Mike McCarthy doesn't figure it out.
And we will go around the NFL today too. We do have a segment on that, and I've got some comments.
Let's do it. But I want to ask Nick and Jalen just your thoughts on Jared Goff. Go in any direction you want, whether it's we want to extend him or you just believe in him, or what do you think, Nick?
I have a lot of faith in Jared Goff. On the road, he just needs to limit the turnovers. We need to run the ball, and at home, this guy lets it fly for the most part. Like, he's putting up some big stats. So I would actually re-sign Jared Goff before we go 13-4, and we have to pay him way too much money.
Jalen, what about you?
I am an advocate for Goff. I want him to get paid. I want to have a stack so fat that he can't spread it. Run the payroll. I want to get, rich. I like Jared Goff. He doesn't make that many mistakes. Now, the first year is a little shaky, but he hasn't been bad. He's a top 5, NFC quarterback. I like Hendon Hooker, for the future, but, how can you trade Jared Goff if the Lions, I don't know, go to an NFC championship game back-to-back years, or, get an NFC North title both years and crack an NFC title game 1 year? How do you just say, he's 31, let's trade him? I just don't think that's I don't trust that. Because if we do that, Hendon Hooker has to be ready as soon as he gets traded. And if he's not, it's going to be the biggest backfire that we've had since Brad Holmes probably got here. You know what I mean?
Now, would you pay him Jalen Hurts money, that $50 million a year?
If we go to an NFC title game and make it we stay close and he shows up, why not?
Are you okay next week if we get an alert on our phone? And I guess this is a question for everyone. If we all get an alert on our phone next week and it's 3 years, $150 million, all guaranteed, $50 a year. Are you you just pay Jared Goff what Jalen Hurts is getting?
That's a lot of money, but It's a lot of money, but I mean,
I'm doing it.
I see two
Really?
two NFC North titles are locks to me the next 2 years. I think an NFC Championship game is in one, and maybe that
So
third
you
year,
guys are paying him before he's even won a division.
Yeah.
I feel like he's gonna do it. I feel like it's like a
interesting.
lock. I think like if anything's a lock this year, us winning the North is a complete
I
lock.
think that is a lock.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
just more so is like I don't know, and I guess this is a Brad Holmes in front
That's
office
why they
thing.
get
It's,
paid the big
do
bucks.
do you pay him before that happens? Because what if you pay him 3 years, 150, and instead of ending the season 8-2 like last year, you end at 1-6? And
See, I like the length of
Do
that
you see what I'm
contract. I
saying?
like it being at 50 in 3 years from now, when maybe the contracts are over 60, maybe 65. But you're 100%
interesting.
right. The leverage of do you wait? Do you do it now? I
if
do
you wait,
think
you have to give him that 50 is a lock.
I think just having Hendon Hooker on the roster, I think that draft pick was partly for it was for leverage. It was so they could save $5 or $10 million just at that negotiating table. Because hey, we have a quarterback waiting, so you're requesting $70 million, ain't gonna happen. But
And if you guys want to know a little bit more about the Detroit Lions, for all the inside scoop on your Detroit Lions, it is the Woodward and Main Show, featuring Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder,
I
our
know
one
him.
and only Matt Broder, and Detroit legend Terry Foster. Episodes 2 times a week, Sundays 8 to 9 a.m. and Tuesdays 7 to 8. Tomorrow morning, actually, they will be live at 7 a.m. if you guys tune in there. The most in-depth reporting and breakdown of the game, the players, and all things Detroit Lions on the Woodward Sports YouTube page. And then Broder?
yes, I'm going to tell you about Dispo. And a reminder, we will be live tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. But Dispo, experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with Dispo Dispensary. They've got over 12 locations, including their new location that's now open in Whitmore Lake. Dispo is never far away. So join Ermanni and Edwards with Maz and the Woodward Heavyweights broadcasting live at the Whitmore Lake location on Friday, September 8th. Actually, I believe that's going to be whatever this Friday is.
September
15th.
15th.
It'll be at 50 North Territorial Road. It's like Ron Burgundy. He just reads the what's the thing called? Ron Burgundy reads it. Teleprompter. The address to Dispo, 50 North Territorial Road, Whitmore Lake, Michigan. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
How would you like to win a 100K Vegas getaway? Take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Syntron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win. Register at drinksyntron.com/Vegas and buy Syntron at your local Meijer store. Syntron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel good, and be the best version of yourself with Syntron, especially the cranberry. drinksyntron.com/Vegas.
All right, welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. My name is Booner. I'm over here with Broder. We've got Jalen in the booth. We've got Nick. Make sure real quick, if you guys can, hit that like button before 9 o'clock. If we could get to 75 likes, we've got about 80 people watching. If we get 75 likes, that would be beautiful. Tell a friend to come tune into the show, share the stream. That would be awesome. But we're going to get into this a little bit here, which is crazy too, real quick. Aaron Rodgers' ankle, ACL or Achilles. No one. I don't know what's going on. This is kind of wild that I think this is the coolest part about the show on a Monday night.
We're reacting live.
Yeah, we're able to see Robert Saleh right now do a live interview, but Aaron Rodgers goes down. Zach Wilson is back for the New York Jets.
The MILF Hunter.
That is wild, man. Imagine being a Jets fan and you're like super excited to have Aaron Rodgers, Monday Night Football, whole thing, franchise turning around, and then you're back to Zach Wilson.
I would be so pissed.
Oh.
If I were Gary Vaynerchuk right now, I'd be so pissed.
I don't know
but
what just happened there.
What if Zach Wilson comes out and if he plays well,
what do you do?
That's the type. Well, if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, he plays. But hypothetically, he's injured. If Zach Wilson plays well in a game like in a situation like this, something like that could just catapult a young player, turn his confidence completely around.
Yeah, he's been learning from Rodgers all camp, and we saw it in Hard Knocks. So let's get into this real quick.
This is gonna be fun.
It is Monday. After the first week of the NFL, and we listened, like, when I tuned into the Morning Woodward show this morning, one thing I realized was they were overreacting about
everything.
Everything. Flannel was like, Kenny Pickett is out of the NFL. Joe Burrow's the worst quarterback of all time. Like, they were just going into it. And that came, me and Broder, we were in the chat, we text each other. We were like, let's do an Overreaction Monday.
Overreaction Monday,
so
Booner.
We've got different views on this, and it's going to be kind of cool because Broder has different kind of predictions that he thinks that will happen after seeing week one. And me, I wrote down what everyone is overreacting to and kind of how I feel if it's true or not.
Let's start with one of yours.
I'll start with my very first one. The first overreaction that we keep seeing, and I've already mentioned it with Flannel, is that Joe Burrow is trash. The Bengals are bad. They're not going to do anything. That is the worst What are we doing here? We're like, really? They started 0-2 last year and went to the conference championship game?
Preach, Booner.
So what are we talking about here? Joe Burrow's coming off an injury, and Flannel was like, oh, it's just an injury. Like, he should be able to still play. No, he came off a calf strain where I don't know if it was his back leg or his back foot, what it is. But he literally had a couple days to practice, and he's come back. And then on the other side of the ball, you have Jim Schwartz and the Browns defense, who just looked elite. And we all sat up here all offseason, and people talked about how good this Browns team can be, and they showed it there. This Joe Burrow this team's not that bad. There are tough spots in parts of this team, this Bengals team. They're going to be just fine, though. I don't want to hear that Joe Burrow is the most overrated quarterback of all time. He's not going to do anything. He's going to go 0-5 to start the year. I don't want to hear that. He was already going to the game like 1-3 versus the Browns. Everyone knew that this was a trap game for them, him coming off an injury. Every bettor, I took the Browns. Everyone took the Browns. Huge play, too.
Josh Allen with the interception.
Oh, that was an interception. Oh, man.
That was a very...
Starting the year off. All I do is stick up for Josh Allen, and that man just does that to me.
I told you guys. Why would you pick against this Jets?
I told you that, Booner.
I always stick up for this man, and this man just disappoints me.
Why would you pick against this Jets defense with Quinnen Williams and Sauce?
I took the under. That's my first overreaction. Let's go to your first one. We have 5 each here, so we'll go through them a little quicker than I just.
By the way, it is ridiculous. Joe Burrow is still Joe Burr. I'm trying to stay sucker free in a world full of lollipops. My first possible overreaction: Jordan Love is the real deal. The Green Bay Packers got their third quarterback in a row. You got Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love is next in line.
Have mercy.
What do you think of that? I'm going to go right to you, Jalen, since you feel so strongly confident in that.
Have mercy. I think, are we going to, say that Jordan Love is, legit, or are the Bears that bad? Because I feel like...
Thinking about Jordan Love, interpret as you please.
I feel like the Bears are, just so, trash, through and through.
They are.
I just don't like them as a whole, but I think they suck.
Look at it this way, too, Jalen. Broder kind of put it in a way where he was like Jordan Love's like a Hall of Famer. He just look at it as he's just an average NFL starting quarterback, like a Jared Goff, where he can win you games. I'm not putting him on the Jared Goff level at all. I'm just this is an example, but where he can win you games. I look at Jordan Love where he can do that after week 1.
That's where I'm at too.
Because he did at the end of the day, he did throw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and dominated. They dominated.
I think he'll be fine though. I like him over there. I think he has some good receivers. I know Watson was out, but if he does end up, hypothetically as the next, Hall of Fame Green Bay quarterback, it'd be crazy because I would be very impressed. But the Bears just stink. So him having a field day with them would help him get comfortable with the receivers because that was a scrimmage for him. You know what I mean?
To me, he passed that eye test. Like, he looked the part. He's got a great offensive line, great defense, and great backfield.
They have a good team.
They have a good team. So there was just something. I just had to see him. He's like the Loch Ness Monster. We haven't seen him yet.
Second one I have here, it'll lead right into this. Justin Fields is actually trash. And that's an overreaction that everyone's saying. I think that's true. The Packers are better than the Bears. I sat up here. I don't know if we're going to talk about it in the NFC. I'll save my rant for later because we're going to talk about the NFC North. But I did try to tell people, and if people in the chat, if you watch the Morning Woodward show, if you watch any other show of me on this network, I tried to tell people and warn people that everyone was overhyping Justin Fields. You're sitting here talking about, MVP candidate, when he hasn't showed us anything except he can run for 100 yards in a game.
That motherfucker back there
Facts.
is not real.
Facts.
Whatever that was, yes. So I was tired of it 2 months ago. I had enough of listening about Justin Fields and this Bears team. It might be a touchdown there for the Jets. I'm over it. I'm stamping it. Justin Fields just might not be it. Let's go to your next one here.
That's
We're
Breece
running
Hall.
out of time here.
I'm staying in the NFC North, and I know we'll get back to it. Vikings will tank for Caleb Williams if they don't win more than one of their first 4 games.
Broder's cooking.
What do you think about that? If they start 0-4, 1-3,
I think they
1
will.
and 5.
I don't want it to be in the NFC. I don't want him to be in the NFC.
I
North.
don't want it.
That's
Caleb
worst
Williams
case scenario
going to
for
the
us.
Vikings too. But I mean, it's the perfect scenario to bring. We're talking about that rookie quarterback, rookie contract. They got to pay Justin Jefferson coming up. They just overpaid for T.J. Hawkinson. Oh man, Nick, is there any reality to that comment?
I sure hope not, and I think they have too much talent to full on do a tank. So I don't buy that one, but I like where your head's at with it.
Right.
It's
Booner, number 3.
Number 3 here. I'm gonna go down to the 5th one on my list actually.
Okay, send it.
The Seattle Seahawks will not make the playoffs this year.
Wow.
The Seattle Seahawks will be on the outside looking in. We won't see them make the playoffs. What's going to happen is the Detroit Lions will beat them on Sunday, and we all know the percentages and what happens if a team in the NFL starts 0-2. Their percentage to make the playoffs goes down to like 10% or something.
That's a
or
great
even
point.
Lower. I think the Detroit Lions win this game on Sunday. Seattle Seahawks start 0-2, and they get put in that spot to where they need a miracle to make the playoffs like the Bengals did last year. I truly that is, I don't know if that's an overreaction or a legit
I
take.
love how you backed it up. Like, if the Lions beat them on Sunday, they move to 0-2, and just stats alone, like Flannel would love it. The chances go down dramatically if they start 0-2. How about this one for number 3 for my overreaction? What do you think about me making the statement, Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley are the NFL's best QB wide receiver duo?
Someone say Calvin? Huh?
I don't hate that.
Jalen.
I don't hate that at all.
You know me. I'm 10 toes with Calvin. He's in all my fantasy leagues. Like, he's a 1K, receiver. He's done it all. He's, had a good season outside of his, mishaps off the field. You know what I mean? But like, he's a top 15 receiver when playing. I think he could maybe crack top 10 with a good, healthy season. But like, you saw him on Sunday. I think he had over 100 yards too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, him and Trevor, like, it's gonna happen. Calvin Ridley is coming to the NFL again.
They look good.
Shane D put in here, and I like this one.
Shane D?
Tua and Tyreek Hill.
I was about to say
that's a great one,
especially after their performance this past weekend.
That's a great one.
What about Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow?
That could be a good one. Obviously, they struggled this week, so it's tough.
What about Caleb Williams and Justin Jefferson?
I'm not talking to you right now, bro. Let me give my other one here.
Please.
4th one, overreaction. Everyone in the world, America. There's a new America's team. The America's team is the Detroit Lions, and everyone this week is talking about the Dallas Cowboys and how good the Dallas Cowboys are. We hear this every single year, and I know this defense looked unbelievable. They're the reason. And I said this to Easy in the back before Easy left. Dallas's game plan might just be let's keep Dak Prescott off the field as much as we can. Like, teams are like, let's try and get Patrick Mahomes off the field.
Yeah.
Dallas is like, let's keep our own quarterback off the field as much as we can.
Yeah.
Let's just keep our defense on the field.
Dude, that defense looked so good.
It felt like their defense, it felt like they just wanted they would rather have their defense out there than offense. And when do you ever see that in the NFL? Never. And I don't know if you can win a Super Bowl doing that. I'm not, especially in today's NFL, when you start getting in these shootouts. I think after that game there, everyone's going to start putting the Cowboys up there in the NFC to win it. And I still think they're kind of frauds. That defense is great as a team. That offense, Dak got bailed out so many times that game.
That's the thing. There's something missing. Like, something's just not right about them. They have talent on offense, but it never seems to come together.
Yeah. It felt like every single throw that Dak messed up, there was a flag, and then he got bailed out every single time. If they didn't score on that defense, the game would have been a little different. I know it was 40-0, but
when that happens, that look right at the head coach, and that's why I brought up, Ben Johnson possibly to the Cowboys, because I don't know. I know Mike McCarthy has had a good career, and he is a good head coach, but his time might just be up in Dallas. And what better guy to bring in to a team like that than Ben Johnson? You got to tell the people about SMA.
SMA, the sports marketing agency, helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to sportsma.com. That is sportsma.com.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com. Have you ever argued with your little brother? How about some random guy you're stuck in a room with for an hour? Flannel Sam and Spencer Raxter are at each other's throats. One Spartan alumni and one Walmart Wolverine are locked in a room with nowhere to hide. You're welcome. Whether it's go blue or go green, you can go to woodwardsports.com for all the action. Coming soon to a device near you. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Do we have football on the brain? Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year is going to be awesome. Fall is also a perfect time to shop for your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. So go ahead and ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today. That's Mark at SwissINS.com or call 248-800-4177.
Welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. My name is Booner. Do not lose, which I did lose this weekend a couple times. Still was positive on the weekend. We've got Broder over here, the Detroit Lions beat reporter for Woodward Sports. We've got Jalen in the booth. And we've got Nick over there in the sound booth. And Adam Morrissey here in the Maz chair. Shout out Adam. But real quick, if you can hit the like button. I think, let's see, what are we at here? We've got 90 people watching. If everyone right now hits the like button, we can get to 75 likes. Let's do that. Tell a friend about the show. Spread out the link so we can get more people in here talking about the Detroit Lions in the NFL. But we're going to stick with the NFL, Broder. I want to go back to you real quick. You said during the break that you still had one more overreaction. I'm going to save mine for our next segment, which we're going to go around the NFL, talk about all of the games. Let's hear your last reaction.
This is actually one I believe, so I'm just going to say it. He's also my starting running back on fantasy, but I believe this regardless. Christian McCaffrey will win the NFL rushing title this season. Christian McCaffrey, running back for the San Francisco 49ers. Booner, what are your thoughts? Am I overreacting?
One, I don't think so. He's got 152 rushing yards to start the season. Eckler 117, Chubb 106. He's got a pretty good he's got a 50-yard head start. I don't even think that's overreaction. I think that's just like a fact.
A reaction?
A great prediction. I don't know if that's like a crazy.
For him, it's all about health to me. He's got a great team. He's got a great
offensive line,
great offense, great defense, a great offensive-minded head coach. I do believe they're going to be ahead in many games this season, so they're going to be just feeding him and Elijah Mitchell the rock. So I think he's got it in him. Real quick, Nick, Jalen, what do you guys think of that Jalen? Christian McCaffrey. Think he can lead the NFL in rushing?
He's on my fantasy, man. But shout out to Stanford, man. We need C-Mac to have a good, healthy season. I think he could. I think he had over 100 first game. So
yeah,
he's looking good, man. He's starting to figure it out once again as a top 3 running back in the league. So I'm with you on that one, man.
22 carries, 152 yards, and 1 touchdown against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So really good defense.
He had?
Christian McCaffrey,
insane.
He's a beast. He's one of those too. You go to YouTube and you watch his highlights from college. Insanity. Did you have any more overreactions, or were you done with your list?
I'm done. I did 4. I had a 5th one. I'll save it for around the NFL. Nick, how do you feel about Christian McCaffrey or any of these overreactions?
Big time in on CMC. I got him in both my fantasy leagues. I also told Jalen to pick him up at 2 in his. So
shout out to Nick.
Yep, CMC showing out week 1. I think he's gonna have a huge season all year. Be a huge catalyst for San Fran.
Yeah, all right. Let's do this then. Nick, can we get some music for around the NFL?
Some background.
Some background music going through here. So we're just going to go around. I picked some games. I picked a couple headlines and questions I wanted to kind of get out here to Broder for around the NFL. I am Maz Jr. and Ian E. does around the NFL. So it only makes sense that I go around and...
I'm showing off my shirt.
Yeah, it's a great shirt, by the way.
It's like some pancakes.
Makes me hungry. I love some pancakes.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't like pancakes.
Come on.
I'm a French toast guy.
What about waffles?
I love waffles.
Okay, so it's just pancakes.
Waffles?
You don't know what you're talking about.
Donkey from Shrek?
Yeah.
Waffles?
Waffles? Playoffs.
In the morning, we're making waffles.
We're making waffles. No, I love that.
Sorry
to
interrupt.
Let's do it. Let's get the music rolling. Let's go around the NFL here. I'm going to start here. We already talked a little bit about it. The Bengals, Browns, Joe Burrow and the Bengals. And I know that was my overreaction, was a lot of people saying the Bengals are going to be bad, Joe Burrow. I do think here, and Broder, I want to get your word on this. The Browns are just kind of legit, and that defense is legit. I don't even care about their offense.
Boom.
You could say Nick Chubb, but that defense is legit.
I don't believe in Deshaun Watson yet. I still got to see a little bit more, but that defense is legit. Like you said, Myles Garrett's out there leading. He didn't even have a sack this weekend, but as a team, they had 3 sacks and an interception. This is a perfect role for Jim Schwartz. I know we experienced him here in Detroit. Had a couple good games, maybe a good season as a coach, but as a defensive coordinator, he's that guy who can bring the best out of them.
Denver in here, too. He said, did you guys see that Myles Garrett crossover? That was insane.
Dude.
He was just lined up like over the nose tackle and just woo, 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 woo. And then as soon as they hiked it, that was wild.
It's that basketball player. I mean, he's in all the All-Star, NBA weekend All-Star games. He's an athlete, man.
He is. Next game here, and I skipped over some games, like the Falcons game, skipped over that.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield beats the Vikings.
Wow.
That was incredible. We do play them Tampa this year, so I don't know if that's someone like for us to watch out for. Is like that Bucs team are they actually going to win some games this year? Because I thought they were going to tank. I thought they were going to go for Caleb Williams. And the first game they come out, Baker Mayfield, he brought the energy. They love him in Tampa.
Yeah.
It looked like.
And they beat a 13-win football team last year. I know we say what we say about the Vikings, but Vikings learned how to win games last year. On the road.
In the NFL.
And week 1, it's a 3-point game. They won by 3, right? Minnesota wasn't able to win that one. So there we go. The streak ends with Minnesota there. But the Bucs are one to keep an eye out on. That offensive line's good. Their defense is good.
The weapons that they have, the fact that Baker Mayfield has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin is incredible. Like, those are 2 elite wide receivers.
And say what you want about Baker Mayfield. I know he's not the best quarterback in the league, but if you're looking to get something out of nothing, looking to unite maybe a team that's down on their luck, Baker Mayfield is the type of quarterback that can sort of get you that fire.
Yeah. And all right, next one here. This one was interesting. I want to hear kind of around the room actually with this one.
Boom.
The Indianapolis Colts and Anthony Richardson. Who is this? Stephon Diggs touchdown.
TD?
Stephon Diggs touchdown. There we go, Bills.
He's been asking for that all offseason.
Jalen is dancing in there, man.
He's been asking for that all offseason.
I mean, I'm telling you, this team, they're 13-3 last year. But Anthony Richardson, my question around the room, after watching him, he's electric. He is electric. He could do everything. 2, is he the franchise guy?
Yes.
That's my question. Is after seeing him week 1, is it finally confirmed? Because there were the questions he didn't do much at Florida, showed potential, didn't put the stats up. Week 1, he looked like he was that dude. And I think Indy
He was
got
nice.
I think they got their guy.
Let him hear it, Jalen.
I think he's gonna be nice, man. Like they were, concerned about him at Florida because they were really good last year. You know about that, Booner.
Yeah.
But he's a great size, great speed. I think he had a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. The
Both.
only concern that I seen that mostly everyone saw, he gets hit a lot, man. Like he got hit a lot.
Did you see Trevor Lawrence with the clip
what he
of
said about
take care of yourself?
Because he needs some help because all the eyes are on him. Like JT's out, he needs to stay healthy. But if he's get some blockers in the offensive line and keep him healthy, I think he'll be nice. I like AR, man.
Mick, what about you?
Yeah, it looks like he already has a really good rapport with Michael Pittman Jr., which is huge for a rookie quarterback. And this guy is just an absolute athlete. I think he is the franchise quarterback there, and I think he's going to be pretty damn good pretty soon here.
Anthony Richardson, I'm with you. I'm glad you brought up the moment with Trevor Lawrence after the game. That's sort of the only thing holding him back. But I was impressed with his completion percentage or his ability. He didn't look so erratic throwing the ball like he did at Florida. So I think they got themselves a future quarterback. I don't know what they're doing at running back, but they got themselves a QB.
And he's a dog. I mean, like Jalen said, though, and Trevor Lawrence told him, take care of your body, be smart. I think eventually as you get into the NFL, you kind of realize that. I think week one, he realized that instantly, especially with Trevor Lawrence letting him know. I'm excited to kind of see him. I wouldn't be surprised if he competes for offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, after seeing what we did.
After seeing that.
And he just found Michael Pittman, but he's got other weapons too. I mean, we didn't see much out of Alec Pierce, and they don't have any running game. I think Deion Jackson, I've got him on my fantasy bench. I think he had 2 fumbles and a couple carries. It was brutal. So there was nothing else going on.
They'll get it together in Indy. They always do. They find a way. Now this one here, this was going to be my fifth one, my fifth overreaction. The Kenny Pickett situation in Pittsburgh. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. In Flannel in the morning show were some of the ones that were criticizing and saying Kenny Pickett's career is over. He's done in steel.
Overreaction Monday.
Overreaction Monday, boys. Like, what are we doing here? It's week one. He struggled versus the best defense in the league. If you really watch that game, he made some plays. Like it wasn't like he went out there and he did crap the bed. But he did still make some plays. You know what Kenny Pickett is. We saw him at the end of last year. It was his rookie season. He's in year 2. You just have to give it some time. I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers will be fine. You have Mike Tomlin in there. That's the biggest overreaction of all time. That Kenny Pickett's career is over.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I was in shock.
Oh, yeah. That 100% is. And he didn't play very well, and he might not excel to become the quarterback that I think he is. I thought he's a dark horse to work his way into the MVP conversation. I sound crazy saying that right now, but their offense didn't look. There was something missing in their offense from start to finish with the Steelers as a whole. And then Deontay Johnson got hurt. Just things were weird.
Yeah, it's just a weird game when you're going up against the 49ers. They came out ready to go, and there was not much. I think any team in the NFL would have been in that game and looked like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah,
41 rush yards, boys. That's it for the Steelers, at home.
Yeah, and how was that Kenny Pickett's fault too?
Najee Harris and Jalen Warren, Lucas's boy, need to step up.
How about that? How about not talking about Kenny Pickett and let's talk about Najee Harris and your guys' boy Jalen Warren? Huh? All right, I'm done with that one. All right, next one I have here. I know we have a couple more minutes till break.
Yeah.
We already talked about Cowboys. We'll leave that off. Last one here. The Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford, Detroit's own. Matthew Stafford looked bad. He looked like top 10 quarterback, Matthew Stafford. Over 300 yards. He didn't have the passing touchdowns, but he led that offense, and they beat the Seahawks on the road in the NFL. Matthew Stafford looked back, got out of the game clean, not one grass stain, dirt, anything on him. I think Matthew Stafford might be back.
He certainly looked the part. He was one of those, the eye test is all I was looking for out of him. I sort of thought he was going to throw a bunch of picks, and who knows? He looked good, and he threw for 300 and over 300 yards. You're right.
I don't think he had a touchdown pass, but if you watch the game, I watched about half of it. He looked legit. He was throwing to, he threw to me probably 10
Puka
times.
Nakua and Tutu Atwell.
Yeah, he threw to Booner.
He hit 119 yards each to Puka and Tutu.
It was just Booner out there.
Wild.
It was Booner and Broder were wide receiver 1 and 2.
The Rams, you got to rethink a little bit about what they are. I mean, their defense, you think, I don't know, they're too young. I don't believe in them quite yet. But anytime you have a team with Aaron Donald on the defense and Matt Stafford as your quarterback, you never know. I thought the Seahawks were going to be good.
What about you boys? Nick, how did you feel about seeing Stafford kind of doing his thing?
It was kind of crazy seeing him bring it back, after he was hurt a lot last year. But I actually got the Rams sneaking into that wild card.
Wow.
Yeah. After that's my overreaction Monday,
boys. It is
boys.
a tough division, though. Like, if you can get out of that division and make a wild card, you're probably a pretty damn good football team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Cooper Kupp comes back. I need him to come back so bad for fantasy. I need Cooper Kupp.
I need somebody. I got J.K. Dobbins as my starting running
in the Woodward League.
Yeah.
Let's make a couple trades here. Oh, tomorrow we'll have our. We'll have him.
Yeah, you can have Dobbins.
Oh, he's hurt. Yeah, I forgot.
You can have him. What he does need to do is he needs to rehab at the cleanest gym around, the one you can get a black card for $24.99.
You can.
Tell him.
I'm getting my black card this week. I'm getting it.
Booner.
I have the text messages from today that I'm getting it. Shout out Planet Fitness. It is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I mean anyone, even someone like me, Booner, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. We are here to help you build a lasting, active lifestyle. At Planet Fitness, you will experience squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness trainings. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or www.planetfitness.com. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by, and that is where your fitness
is essential.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
How would you like to see famous athletes like Jim Harbaugh, Darren McCarty, and Braylon Edwards play golf with average Joes like myself and Booner and Nick and Jalen and Adam? Thanks to Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports, you will be able to do just that. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Make the wise choice and pay attention to Woodward Sports for more info soon. And we are back. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Booner is the most dangerous man with a bet slip in his hand. I am the 4th most athletic employee at the Woodward Sports Network.
I'm third.
They say.
I'm third.
You're
yeah.
Hall of Famer? Green Jacket?
Green Jacket.
So wait, if you're third, who are you ahead of? Lindsey Hunter, Darren McCarty, or Braylon Edwards? This is important.
I beat them all.
You're calling them out public live.
No, I'm not going to do that.
You're third.
No, I'm 5th. I just got moved down the list.
There we go. All right.
I'm not dealing with that one.
Smart.
They'll destroy me in anything.
Dude, those 3 are insane.
If we count gambling as a sport, then maybe
you'd be number 1.
Maybe I would, yeah.
You'd be number 1. It's not easy. Please, everyone in the chat, hit those likes. We're at 68 now. We got 80 watching. That's a great ratio.
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be a few of you who maybe haven't hit the like. Let's do it.
Is there a way we can hit 100? I know we only have 80 watching right now, but maybe there's 30 people who haven't hit the like yet. Ryan Lentz in the chat. I get no love on the athletics rankings. You're number 6. You're right behind me. You're ahead of Jeff Brady, Lucas. You're ahead of Easy. That's a good one to be ahead of. You're ahead of Spencer. That's a good one as well.
He's a baseball coach too. Ryan Lentz.
Lentz is he's the best baseball player at the network.
Yeah,
confirmed.
he is.
I confirm that myself.
Tor, I'm going to get to your question in the next segment, but Booner and I really want to talk about this NFC North. We got to.
This is my favorite segment.
Yeah, we got to get this sort of straightened out. My mind is blown at everything that happened this weekend, and I thought the Packers were going to flop this season. They look good. They look like they might be the biggest competitor for the Lions. But my question that I want to ask, I want to phrase it to the room. Booner, I'm going to go to you first.
Hit me.
Are there any actual threats to the Lions winning the NFC North? Do you see the Packers, Bears, or Vikings actually coming toe-to-toe down to the wire with the Lions near the end of the season?
No. I don't think so. I think the only team that could be close to that would be, after watching Week 1, is the Green Bay Packers. I think maybe there'll be a couple games out. Just after watching the Week 1 and what the Lions did, I do feel like they're set up to kind of just pull away with the NFC North, especially after going 5-1 in the NFC North last year.
Mm-hmm.
James Cook, I think they just called the touchdown back, and I have him anytime touchdown.
No.
That's brutal. That's brutal. But no, yeah, I don't think there's anyone. And if can we throw a poll in the chat? Who's the most likely to be a threat for the Detroit Lions in the NFC North? Packers, Bears, or Vikings? I would love to see what the chat has to say. But yeah, I don't think there's really a threat. I don't feel it. If you would have asked me Wednesday right before the season started, I would have said, yeah, maybe the Vikings or Packers. And I would have felt it a little bit like there's a chance that one of them go off.
Mm-hmm.
But after now that we've seen Week 1, I don't see that there's a massive threat. I think the Detroit Lions could there's a potential they could pull away and win this by week 14.
That would be pretty nice, my friend.
That would be beautiful.
I sort of thought it was going to be the Vikings before the season started. I thought even with their record winning close games last season, that just learning how to win, having that experience, even with some new players, I thought was going to be something that would keep them close. And I'm not there yet to say there's a true threat, but after 1 week, I do think the Packers are someone we need to keep an eye on. I think
agree.
Jordan Love looks like he can play quarterback, which is more than we knew about him before this year. They've got a great run game, a great offensive line, and a great defense. And I say great, I just used that 3 times. They're very good units. Their offensive lines, actually, you could probably consider them great. But they got pieces to compete. To me, the one question mark was Jordan Love, and he answered a lot of my questions yesterday. But I think the Vikings are very far away now from being in contention, and the Bears, man, after that showing, I'm trying to compare the Packers versus the Bears. I don't know, man. They didn't look good. They didn't look like they improved at all.
And I do want to take another, and this is the perfect week too, because I remember I texted Broder last night and mentioned we should do a segment, Victory Lap Monday.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have 2 different ones. This is going to be the first one, and there's going to be one later at our 9:45 segment here that I'll have a little Victory Lap. But I've done shows with Jeff and Lucas and them, and I've been laughed at a lot about some of my takes that I've had before the football season.
Really?
And the one that they spoke about was who's going to be number 2 in the NFC North, and everyone talked about the Bears. Bears. That's all we heard was Bears. I was tired of hearing the Bears, and my statement that day was, let's stop overhyping the Bears and Justin Fields, and let's stop overlooking Jordan Love in this Packers team, because Jordan Love, they extended him for another year for a reason, because they saw what he could do in camp. They felt like he was good enough behind Aaron Rodgers, where they felt like that he could make an impact if he had the team around him, and now he does. And I got laughed at for saying that the Packers could be the second best team in the NFC North, and now we look at it and they actually are. After
Definitely.
Week 1, they are the second best team in the NFC North. Jordan Love looks solid. He doesn't look great. He looks solid. They have the roster for that. And they knew what they were doing. I mean, this is a Packers organization who's won for the last 40 years. So the Packers are the only ones that I'm saying that could be that second person.
Preach. It's interesting you said that about his contract, because I sort of read it a different way, that they're extending him in this team-friendly contract extension because they don't know what they're going to get out of him, and it gives them an extra year to figure that out, which is why I was thinking maybe they're going to be the ones tanking.
The Vikings?
No, the Packers.
The Packers.
The
Okay.
Packers, but
I just had a feeling, when we did all the preseason talk, I just had a feeling that there's a reason that they kept Jordan Love. They extended him another year. There's a reason behind it. Yeah. They wouldn't have moved. I know obviously Aaron Rodgers wanted out at a certain point, but there was points where they could have made it right with Aaron Rodgers, and they obviously felt comfortable enough to where they could have moved on, and it became a thing to where obviously Aaron Rodgers wanted out at that point. But there was a point to where they felt comfortable to move on from Aaron Rodgers with Jordan Love, and then they felt comfortable enough to give Jordan Love another year and pay him 20-something million or whatever the deal is. So I do believe that that's the second best team in the NFC North, the only one that can probably give us a run for our money.
I learned something about the Vikings that I want to tell you about, but I need you to tell the people about the Lions post game.
Yes.
Before
the Detroit Lions or the Woodward Sports post-game show. It was a great show on Thursday. I was driving home
Unbelievable.
at 1 in the morning to get home. I got home at 2 a.m. and they were still going. So the Woodward Sports own Tom Mazaway will be hosting our Lions post-game show after every Lions game all season long with Stick up there as well. You see, tune in on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You will not want to miss it. Tom Mazaway, Stick, and special guest on Woodward Sports YouTube page after every Detroit Lions game.
Check it out.
And Nick is on it. Nick takes calls during our
Yes, sir. Let's go. Lions post game was hype last week, and we're gonna hopefully get another one this week.
Yes, you guys crushed it. I think we have some clips that maybe not today, but we're going to play from that first stream. It was freaking awesome. But Minnesota, real quick, they've got fundamental issues. But there's one thing about them that I got to point out. They've got a terrible cap situation. Kirk Cousins is polarizing. They made a ton of moves this offseason in their secondary and defensive line, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like they really did anything, if that makes sense. But what I learned, I was doing a little digging, and I learned that they moved on from Adam Thielen, Eric Kendricks, Dalvin Cook, Patrick Peterson, and Zadarius Smith. The first four names I just mentioned were their 4 team captains from last year.
All moved on from.
All 4 team captains moved on, and apparently Zadarius Smith, he's a non-captain, but he's a team favorite. That's a lot of freaking leadership for one team to lose, especially when their calling card was winning close games, knowing how to win, that experience. A lot of that has to do with those 5 players. Dude, that is a lot of leadership to lose. And then you pair that with their schedule. Have you looked at their schedule?
It's similar to us, right? Correct?
Way worse. They just lost to the Buccaneers. On Thursday, they got the Eagles in Philadelphia. Then the Chargers, Panthers, Chiefs, Bears, 49ers, Packers, Falcons, Saints, Broncos, Bears, Raiders, Bengals, Lions, Packers, Lions.
You would think actually now that, and this is my realization, that Caleb Williams will be in the NFC North next year.
In purple.
This is a disaster.
Dude,
I don't even know what to say.
Eagles, Chiefs, Chargers, 49ers, they play everybody.
Boys.
Arizona, though, they might be worse.
They may be worse. I don't know what Arizona
almost won their game yesterday.
Josh Dobbs, former Lion great.
Oh, my gosh. This is a disaster, boys.
He actually has the same agent as Lee McNeil and Aiden Hutchinson, Shane Zylstra. Dude, that schedule is ridiculous.
Broder, I don't know. You shouldn't have brought that up.
I know.
That's mean.
But this bodes well for the Lions' chances this season.
Yeah,
you might just be seeing Caleb Williams in purple.
Question then, when we had it here in the prep as well, outside of the NFC North, we did talk about it on Wednesday, where we ranked the Detroit Lions in the NFC as a whole. And remember, I said that if they go 2-0, that they could potentially be the best team in the NFC. Right now, after seeing the Chiefs and after seeing all these other teams play, where are they in the NFC? I have my rankings here. Where are you putting the Detroit Lions ranked in the NFC?
I'm going to put them third.
What's your top 4?
My top 4 is 49ers, Eagles. They didn't look as great yesterday, but I still believe in them. I really like Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. I got the Lions and I got the Cowboys. The Cowboys were a team that I picked to miss the playoffs, but that defense looked really good.
Nick,
I'm in lockstep with Broder on that exact same Final Four, top 4 rankings. Yeah, I think the Lions are super dangerous, though. I think they can compete with those top 2 teams as well.
Jalen, where are you at with this one? Where do you have the Lions in the NFC ranked? What's your top 4?
I got Niners number 1 right now, obviously. And number 2 is a toss-up for me. I think the Eagles are good. They're not better than last year, though. I don't care. Their team is not the same from last year. I think we could be number 2. Tie for number 2. I think Dallas stays at number 4 for sure, but
yeah,
we can intertwine with Philly. And I think the only team, like I said before, is the only issue is San Fran. We can beat everyone, especially
that's where I'm at.
We can really beat Dallas. I'm not like, if Dak's starting, it's always a chance when he's starting. You know?
That's my top 4. Is it's kind of going to be a shock here. I have the 49ers number 1, and I think it's going to be tough to beat a team like that. That 49ers team was scary. Number 2 after week 1, the Eagles did not impress me at all. They should have lost to if anyone watched that game, they should have lost 3 different times to the Patriots. I'm putting the Detroit Lions the number 2 team in the NFC.
Wow.
Dead serious. I think the Cowboys, obviously their defense was their defense. I just think as a whole, the Detroit Lions, if they played tomorrow, the Detroit Lions beat the Dallas Cowboys. I think if they played tomorrow, the Detroit Lions beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'll take that.
And that's the top 4 teams. So I go 49ers, Detroit Lions, Philadelphia Eagles, and Dallas Cowboys.
Let it fly. Before you tell them about Guardian, let me tell those in the chat that we're going to start taking calls. So call us. We're going to talk NFC North. Got some questions to pose for you. We'll get the number pinned 313-552-6322. Now, Booner, tell them about Guardian Alarm.
Yes, it is a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time, recommended security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Make sure you call 1-800. You see it on the screen there. Stay out. 1-800.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. So visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks or order online at fairwaypacking.com. This music gets me jacked up, Nick.
Yes, sir.
Nick.
Same here.
Back.
Let's go, boys.
We got the phone call
Yes.
lines in. Sorry, you were welcoming. We're all just yelling right now. It's 9:30.
I was just saying, welcome back to Woodward Nights. My name is Booner. We've got Broder over there. We've got Jalen here, and we've got Nick in the sound booth. We got Adam Morrissey in the mashed chair. Make sure you guys, if you can, hit that like button. 33 away from 100. I know we got 73 watching, but I'm sure there's some people who have not hit the like button yet, and we will find you. If you better hit that like button and make
I have a very particular set of skills.
I don't know what that was, but that was creepy, dude.
Why don't you go purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka?
That's not okay.
I don't know what's going on.
That's Prince.
Make sure you guys call in here, 313-552-6322. We're taking callers here to talk about the NFC North, kind of the NFC where the Detroit Lions rank on that. Just want to hear kind of your guys' thoughts on it.
So call in and send questions in the chat. Maybe if you're not calling in, post those questions. I'm maybe going to start us off asking a question on tour, if I'm pronouncing that right. He has posed multiple times to me throughout the show. He was asking about Khalif Raymond, if I'd heard anything down at camp, and I haven't. And Atur, I'm going to agree with you. I'm a little not concerned, but I'm curious as to why he wasn't used more in that game.
Yeah.
I had big expectations for Khalif, and I'm not worried at all. I think he's going to be fine, and I think they're going to use him more in the offense, not just in special teams moving forward. It might have just been one of those days where he wasn't the plays just didn't go his way. The way the game played out, it didn't go in his favor. So I don't have an answer for you, but I wouldn't be concerned with Khalif Raymond. I think he's going to be a huge part to this team. He's looked fantastic all offseason, so don't let one game get you down.
Khalif Raymond, and to me too, he's that glue piece on that offense typically, to where he's going to have games where he doesn't get 1 or 2 targets. And a perfect example is last year versus Philly, first game of the season. 0 receptions, 2 targets. Versus Washington, 0 receptions, 0 targets. Minnesota, 1 reception, 1 target. As the years gone on, I mean, he only had some games 3, most of the games 3 targets, some 2 targets. There's some games here and there to where you need a guy like him to step up. Example, Green Bay game where he had 6 targets, 4 receptions for 66 yards. He's just that glue guy, though. And if you didn't really notice him, like, punt returning, he had a huge punt return that puts you in good field position. So he does make plays. He's that glue guy to where if everyone's struggling, if Amon-Ra, he doesn't typically have a bad game, but if you need a couple big plays here and there,
he's reliable.
He comes to help.
Whether he gets no passes, no targets for the next 3 weeks, that 4th week when Jared Goff needs him, he'll be in the right spot.
Yeah,
kind of like Josh Reynolds and how he was in the right spot on Thursday.
This week was this last week was Josh Reynolds.
Yes.
And that's exactly what it was. So I don't think I'm not worried about with Khalif. It's not like if Amon-Ra came out there and had two targets, that's something where you could sit there and be very, very concerned about. But Khalif, I mean, he's always going to be that guy. He's one of the best punt returners in the game right now. So he makes an impact for this team.
How about this? Tyler asked in the chat, Woodward Sports, do you think we see Josh Reynolds get more snaps than he ever has had with the Lions going forward?
Wow.
That's a good question.
Great question.
Especially with
Jamo coming back
week 6, week 7?
Yeah. My gut reaction, I'll hit you first and then feel free to come in. I don't think he will. I don't think his snaps will change at all. I think he's just going to be a steady, reliable guy. Whether they have Jamo in or not, he's going to be that number 3, maybe number 4 receiver. But that security blanket for Jared Goff. I think Jared's so comfortable with Josh Reynolds that he'll be in the game when they need him.
And Rich Diana here said, wait till Gibbs goes against a bad defense.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. I'm convinced this week is a big Jahmyr Gibbs week.
Against the Seahawks? It might be.
The comments that we kind of heard of Dan Campbell saying that way, where we've slowly worked him into it. Now we know what he can do, and it's time to release that. This is Jahmyr Gibbs' season on Sunday, and I cannot wait for it.
Ben Johnson can now get strategic with him. Having this offensive line, having David Montgomery run like he did, we don't have to force Jahmyr Gibbs into all this action, into 30 rushes or 15 rushes and 10 receptions early. They're going to keep using him as a weapon and just slowly getting him more and more involved. And then when the big moments are needed, Jahmyr Gibbs, they're going to just let him fly.
Yeah.
Let him fly.
I cannot wait personally until Gibbs and Jamison Williams are on the field at the same time. That is so much speed and so much dynamic firepower to work with. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Tor just said in the chat, is it crazy to be this pumped about the season and be like, Jamo who? We're not even really considering him. And I don't know if this is a bold statement, but if there's one takeaway that my vision can bring to you from training camp, it's that Jamison Williams' speed is otherworldly. It's not like Jahmyr Gibbs. I've never seen anything like it. He's the fastest human being I've ever seen.
Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown? About how Jared Goff basically they said on his podcast that Jared Goff said that he thinks that Jahmyr Gibbs can beat Jamison Williams in a 40.
I know. It's a crazy
He said 100
concept.
yards, Jamison Williams, 40. They both agreed and said Gibbs.
That might be true.
That's crazy.
It'd be hard to beat Jamison's strides. He's got such long legs. I can't see Jahmyr Gibbs being able to.
Too.
Yeah,
he's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about? I know obviously he's out and he can't be in Allen Park for the next few weeks. But has there been any conversations the last week about Jamison Williams?
Nothing. In fact, I don't think they're even allowed to comment on him, which might be part of it. I think he's just a complete. He's just got to be away from the team, away from communication for the first 3 weeks of the suspension.
It's against the protocol. Like, he can't talk Lions. He can't be around anything, or else the team will get fines. And if they
isn't it till like week 4? I heard.
No, I think it's the whole suspension. If I'm not mistaken.
I thought I heard something to where he can come back at a certain point of the suspension.
I think it's after week 3 he can come back and start
be in the building,
be in the building, practice with the team.
That's a huge advantage, actually.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone knew about that.
That he could come back?
That he could be back week 3 or week 4, and he could be in the building, and he can get rehab, and he could start working with people. That is.
Maybe we make a bigger deal about it tomorrow.
Yeah, we could talk about that tomorrow because that is actually huge. After week 3, he gets in the building again, and he actually starts that's massive for this team. Because if it was actually, hey, week 7, you can't come back until that week 7, then it's like, all right, maybe it takes him a couple weeks to get back into action. If he comes back after week 3, he's right back into that offense.
It's wild. He's going to have to focus on that minute-by-minute listing agreement from Mark White if he wants to get that real estate back here in Detroit after week 3. When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. And sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for no reason with no penalty? That's exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called the minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White and Associates. So try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success. To break now, Jalen. Thank you. Let's go. Oh, all good. We're just hanging.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Just in time for football, Glorious Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good, it's like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in the honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are missing out. So smooth. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off. Check us out online at www.gloriouscanna.com.
I saw blue. It looked glorious. You guys know that movie? What movie is that from? Any of you?
What'd you say?
What movie is that from? I saw blue.
I have
he
no
looks
clue.
glorious.
Zero clue.
I'm only 24.
Yeah.
Old school. That's my boy Blue.
This is an
This is a
all-time
guess here.
classic.
Real quick, we're talking about ages here. My birthday is tomorrow.
We're going to go nuts tomorrow.
Booner's birthday is tomorrow.
Booner's birthday
I know I'm
bash.
just the third person. That was bad. I do that a lot in the back if anyone was wondering. But no,
Old
birthday's
school.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I said that, Broder.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Old school.
that's my
Oh,
boy
wait.
Blue.
Old school.
Old school.
Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
Luke
Great,
Wilson and all those
great
guys.
movie.
I was only 2 when that
That's
came
the one
out.
where he runs around the streets or is that?
Everybody was streaking.
Yeah, great movie.
Great movie. It has nothing to do with my age, you clowns.
Sorry.
No, it doesn't. No, not at all. But I do turn 26 tomorrow, and I told them before the show my birthday's tomorrow, 26. My life expectancy. What I don't know how to
Life
say
expectancy?
it. Yeah.
There you go.
I gave myself 50, so I'm officially over the hill tomorrow.
Are you factoring that into your investment decisions?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, no, 100%.
That time horizon's a little different.
So yeah, I'm 50 is my. Make sure to real quick, you guys hit that like button. We're at 86. 14 more likes.
We're gonna get to 100 before the end of the show.
14 more likes in 16 minutes.
But for 5 or 6 minutes, there's something we got to talk about. Booner has a bone to pick.
I do.
It's in the world of college football.
Yes, I do. I've got a huge bone to pick.
It sounds like Jalen also does, but Booner, I know this falls in the category of a little bit of Florida State, a little bit of Texas, a little bit of.
It's college
I'll
football.
let you fly, but the bone to pick's with that Saturday game day show.
I do, and let me throw my glasses
Tell
on
us.
here real quick, because I do a show on Saturdays called Woodward Bets, hosted by your own truly, Booner. And I've been laughed at for 2 weeks straight. One, I was the only one week 1 that said Florida State's going to go in there and dominate LSU. And guess what happened? Florida State went and dominated LSU. And then this week, on Saturday,
Well,
this is the big one, where I sat in this exact seat here, Lucas, Jeff, and they all laughed at me, and we got into a nice little argument because they tried to tell me that Bama was Bama and Jalen Milroe is the next Jalen Hurts or Tua or Bryce Young. They tried to tell me that Jalen Milroe was that man. And you know what I did? I sat up here and I said, no, Texas is back. Woo! And guess what happened on Saturday night? Texas went into Bama. They dominated Nick Saban and Jalen Milroe. And Quinn Ewers is now that man. And if anyone thinks that's a fraud, Nick, our own, we will have a video in just a second for you.
Let him cook.
Texas is back. We've been waiting for this for years. We've been waiting to see some of these other college football programs finally come back. And guess what? Texas is a legit program right now and a legit football team.
Yes.
Florida State is a legit football team right now. Excuse me.
get some water. You're
And
right.
if you're a fan of college football, you should love that Texas is back. You should love Florida State's back. We don't care about Bama. We want to see Texas. We want to see Florida State. And guess what? They're back. I tried to tell you guys. I got laughed at. Can we play the tape, Nick's tape as well real quick? Listen to this. This is Nick. Because Nick tried to say that Texas will never be back in his lifetime.
What did he say, Boone? What did he say?
He said, Texas will never be back in my lifetime. Never!
I'm sorry to Longhorn Nation. For absolutely fucking nothing, you won one game. You went to Tuscaloosa and won. Win the Big 12. Get to the college football playoff. Pretenders or frauds. Contenders, frauds. I still got you guys at frauds. 2 losses, not in the fucking college football playoff. Fuck Texas, boys out.
What is that? What is that?
I'm still rocking with it. Texas
gonna
hasn't
win out.
done shit. They have
They're
not
gonna
done
win out.
anything. They beat Bama. I was wrong on the game, but I actually picked Texas to cover in that game. I wasn't hating on Texas.
We're not letting that slide. No, I don't think you picked them to cover.
No.
Well, I did,
we're
and
not
they
doing
obviously
that.
covered.
Texas went in there and dominated Bama. They have an
Bama
easy Big 12
blows.
schedule. They're going to be in the college football playoffs.
Bama
Book it.
blows.
Book it.
Yeah, I mean, it was super impressive to win like that in Tuscaloosa. I'm not going to lie. I cannot lie about that. Super impressive. But Alabama's quarterback, Milroe, is absolute booty cheeks.
Yeah, and
He's
Lucas tried to tell me
booty.
he's a Heisman candidate. What are we doing here?
Where? On Road to Glory?
What are we doing here?
It's over.
Come
he
on.
stinks.
He's great. He can make plays. That man, he throws the
With his
worst.
feet.
Yeah, he has the potential, but he's just not there yet.
Hook 'em, Nick.
All right, real quick, let me tell you guys about the Lions. I'm sorry about that rant. And Jalen, I know Jalen wants to say a little bit about
Don't
Texas
ever
too.
apologize.
But
No, I'm fine. I'll catch him after the show.
The text messages you see in our group chat when Texas was winning was, I loved it. I loved it. But for all the inside scoop on your Detroit Lions, it is the Woodward and Maine show tomorrow at 7 a.m. actually, featuring Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Detroit legend Terry Foster. Episodes 2 times a week, Sundays 8 to 9, Tuesdays 7 to 8 a.m. Make sure you tune in for the most in-depth reporting and breakdown of the game, players, everything Detroit Lions tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Make sure you guys all wake up bright and early and tune in. I'll be tuned in the chat.
I will be sitting right up here once again. See you in the morning at 7 a.m. We do want to get to mailbag, so get your questions in. Ask me anything, AMA. Ask us anything. But first, we got to take one real quick break. Our boy, Detroit Mario, with the new nickname, he's going to tell you about Academy of Warren.
Yeah, that was a pretty good nickname,
Yeah,
no
good.
doubt. Shout out for that one.
Yeah.
Brand new state-of-the-art Sports Dome Fieldhouse that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Also can be used for 7-on-7 football. K-8 that features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K-8 athletics. Now accepting new enrollment. Go to academyofwarren.net.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Good. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, shit.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Calling all landscapers. How would you like to landscape like a legend? Register for your chance for 4-time Stanley Cup winner Darren McCarty to work for your crew for a day. That is right, Darren McCarty on your zero-turn weed whipping and edging for your favorite clients. Sign up today at OutdoorEquipCo.com. That is OutdoorEquipCo.com. All right.
Coming down the final stretch.
10 minutes left.
I have a big announcement, though.
Let's hear it.
This is huge
for
everyone in the chat. We're going all night. We're extending the show. Actually, we're just not going to end this until we get to 100 likes. And if I see that number go down, I'm going to call all you out in the chat. But let's get it to 100. Let's get to 100 before we're done.
And look at real quick, Coach Walk, Booner, the diabetes kid. I don't think I have diabetes. I don't know what that means, but I don't think I have diabetes. When I drink this Kool-Aid, I saw a lot of people, which it did really good on socials. So I saw a lot of people like, "Are you drinking all that Kool-Aid?" There's no like sugar or anything in this.
It's Mio.
Yeah, so there's no like sugar in it. But I'm just throwing that out there. I saw a couple comments on it like, "Oh man, this kid's drinking so much sugar and Kool-Aid."
For the fam, for our tour, we got to mention DeAndre Swift's name. I'm not going to DeAndre bash because I'm a Swift fan. I'm a fan of the human, and my rookie card collection is really struggling right now. But he didn't have himself a very good day in Philly. I think it was one carry for 3 yards or something.
Yeah, I mean it's brutal. I mean we've had conversations about, is this a running back room in Detroit that's upgraded? And when you look at what Jamal and DeAndre Swift did, and then you look at what our guys did, you could tell there's a reason why running backs have had success the last year, like Jamal. So
it is. Answer 14 asks, Booner, how many touches is Jahmyr Gibbs going to get? Touches.
Look, that counts.
Receiving.
Receptions
too.
My goal, and I hope that this happens, I hope he gets 15 this week.
15 total?
Yeah.
What did he have last game? I should know this. It was about 7 carries and 2 receptions, I think. So 9.
I'm hoping you get to 15 in that sense. 15 plus. So anything above 15 would be good. Yeah, it's 7 and 2.
Corey Berry, Broder, what's better, working with old school T-Foss or still 25?
I am 25 through 2 more hours.
T-Foss is a legend, so you know I'm not going to not call the GOAT out there. Booner's my guy. They're both great to work with.
I don't think I'm a bad person to work with.
No, you're amazing. You're actually amazing to work with.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It just is what it is. Both. There we go, Denver, Blair. Both.
Let's go, Denver. Shout out.
Lions.
Coach Walk, Booner, you know I love you, buddy. You're one of my favorite. Coach Walk, I love you too. Coach Walk knows ball. Fact.
Dude, this is actually pretty funny. Lions of Detroit, and maybe not with all the MSU scandal around right now, but Lions of Detroit says, Woodward Sports, I think we should just call you Woody. It's a mascot and a boner joke all wrapped up in one little package. There were levels to that statement. One little package. Yeah, I went for it. It's YouTube. You can say.
So is Woody is Jalen? Is that what Lions?
I think it's me.
I think he's saying Jalen's Woody.
I don't like Woody. That's not a good one.
I think Stick's dog is actually named Woody.
Oh, thanks.
No, that was just like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure though, because he named it after Woodward Sports, I think.
Says Jalen, are you the perma moderator? Jalen's going to be with us 4 out of 5 days a week. He'll be here some Fridays, but he has another commitment Friday nights. But Jalen's our man in the TD booth, and Nick is our man in the sound booth. This crew of 4 is it.
Shout out.
Not that this is the only people supporting the show.
Out.
We got 3, 4, maybe 5 other people behind the scenes helping us. Detroit Kool-Aid, John Claus, Chris Platty.
We've got it.
Easy.
Yeah.
Everybody, I apologize if I missed your name. There are a lot of people that go into this production, both putting it on and doing the clips and social media stuff. We definitely could not do that without their help.
Shane D, thank you. He said happy early. Booner, thank you.
There we
Tomorrow's
go.
Booner Day. So, and all the chats, starting with the Morning Woodward show, everyone it's Booner Day.
Booner Day.
Let the world know tomorrow.
Jalen Sanity is from Tyler. That's a good one.
Are we at 100 yet?
97. 97.
We've got 4 minutes too as well, so we've got time.
We do.
Lions of Detroit. I like this late night crew. It will grow 100%. 100%. I think this is a great crew. I love the crew. Slowly building. This is our first full week. I know last week we obviously the premiere did huge. Lions played huge. So I'm interested. Hopefully everyone keeps tuning in and you guys like it. If there's anything you guys want to see or anything better, just throw it in the chat. I think we all read the chat here, and we will want to interact with the whole chat. I love all the listeners.
Definitely.
Keep dropping questions too.
Please.
Come on, keep dropping questions.
Answer 14 asks, I'm going to answer this a different way. Answer 14 says, how does OC Ben Johnson get St. Brown free too? What schemes? And Jalen, do you have the graphic of the Jared Goff next gen stats? It's just the picture of him going 13 of 16 on inline. What's the terminology I used? Oh, here we go.
Breaking routes.
In breaking routes. So Jared Goff completed 13 of 16 passes targeting in breaking routes for 160 yards and a touchdown versus the Chiefs. The Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown was also an in-breaking route, and he does a lot of those. I'm not saying this is the only way that Ben Johnson gets Amon-Ra open, but it's part of it. Amon-Ra plays out of the slot a lot, and just his ability to use his physicality, his body, and we're good on that graphic, Jalen. Being physical and using his body to finish off his route. He's an incredible route runner, but without that physicality at the point of contact, whether that's at the line of scrimmage or when he's making his cut, he want to get open. So it's a combo. Ben Johnson is a genius, scheming him to get open. Also, Amon-Ra St. Brown's an incredible route runner.
Tyler said, what do you guys think of Canada beating the U.S. at the FIBA World Cup? That's wild, but I did see as well, I got the report this morning when I woke up that LeBron is looking to he's going to play in the Olympics, and he's going to look to get like KD and Steph, and he's going to look to get all of these
for
guys.
2024.
Yeah, so I think we're fine. What else do we have here?
Is Josh?
How bad do you feel for Jets fans? I don't feel bad at all. Abe, I hope Abe's watching. I don't feel bad. I don't care.
They still, I mean, Zach Wilson, I don't believe, is the answer at quarterback, but they still have what I think could be a top 5 defense. They're nasty.
I mean, they almost made the playoffs last year with Zach Wilson and
Quinnen Williams is as good a defensive tackle in the entire league, and we know everything about Sauce Gardner, and that's just scratching the surface.
Great question. Nobody here. Is Josh Reynolds guaranteed 30 to 45 yards a week? I think so. And I'll say this, my reasoning is I do think he gets at least 1 to 2 catches a week, whether J-Mo's back or not, and in each one of those catches are 20-plus yards.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself.
He always comes up big with those. I said that last week.
Security blanket, baby, when Goff needs him. Josh Reynolds is where he is. Same with Marvin Jones and Khalil Freeman. That's why a lot of people are down on the wide receiver group or the depth.
There's still guys in there.
And they're reliable. They are they fit what Ben Johnson wants to do. They fit Jared Goff. We talked about him a lot today. He just needs to get them the ball in the right spots, and he does that, man.
Yep.
You know, we hit 100
We did it,
a
104.
minute ago.
Let's get around everyone.
Let's go. We're so thankful for all of you.
Tomorrow, Booner Day.
That's going to
throw it in every chat.
Booner Day.
Booner Day. It sounds like a real day, doesn't it?
It sounds like a questionable holiday.
I think it's a great holiday.
Old
Booner
Country
Day.
Buffet. Oh, man. Well, I think that does it. It's 10 o'clock.
It's 10 o'clock.
Join us tomorrow. Going to be a hell of a party for Booner.
Let's
go,
boys.
Yes. Thank you all for tuning in to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. From Adam Morency in the chair, we got Nick, we got Jalen, Booner, and I'm Broder. Thank you so much. We will see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m.